President Trump, so the New York Times, Jesse Drucker and Alan Rappaport wrote a great piece for the New York Times back day before yesterday, Winners and Losers in the Tax Bill. Now, keep in mind, this tax bill, this Republican tax scam is about 1,000 pages long and was almost entirely written by either lobbyists or former lobbyists. And so, you know, it's going to take us a while to figure out exactly what other little time bombs they've built into this thing. But there's a lot of it. By the way, breaking news, an Amtrak derailed between Washington State and Portland, Oregon. This is not a good thing. And another example of the kind of crisis that we have here in the United States as a result of our infrastructure problems. We are behind the rest of the developed world in having functional infrastructure. It's insane. So anyhow, the biggest winner in the Trump bill, in the GOP tax scam, is commercial real estate developers. You know, like the guy in the White House, just like, you know, the biggest winner back in 2002 for invading Iraq and Afghanistan was the oil industry, right? What a surprise. You had an oil CEO in the White House, you had an oil CEO as vice president. Today we've got a commercial real estate CEO in the White House, and guess what? Pass-through income, money you make on real estate, suddenly it's going to be taxed at 29% rather than 39%. Isn't that sweet? Donald Trump is going to make out like a frigging bandit. And by the way, they go on to add in how this is going to help both Donald Trump and Jared Kushner. Real estate also avoided new limits on interest deductions and retained its ability to defer taxes on the exchange of similar kinds of properties. In other words, if you sell a property and you make a huge profit and you buy a new property with that money, you don't have to pay any taxes. How cool is that, right? You can't do that with with stocks. Try doing that with your retirement account. Good luck. Unless, of course, it's a 401k, but still you're going to have to pay money on that eventually. Real estate? Nah, not so much. And who else wins? The big corporations win. Google, Facebook, Apple, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer. These companies are sitting on $3 trillion worth of offshore money. $3 friggin' trillion. And this is going to come back to them, and they're going to have to pay 8% to 15%, depending on whether they're bringing back assets or cash. And in fact, we're going to this so-called territorial tax system, which means that if you're making money overseas, you no longer have to pay U.S. taxes on it. So in the future, these companies can simply keep their manufacturing overseas, keep their profits overseas, and hey, it's Fat City. They can bring that money back without taxes all they want. Okay, who else wins? So we've got big corporations, we got real estate developers, multimillionaires who are, you know, well, actually, it's not even the elderly. Young people who are members of the Lucky Sperm Club or the Lucky Ovum Club, not to be sexist. Young people who have elderly relatives who have estates worth well over $11 million. They're going to benefit from this because, you know, they no longer have to work for a living, right? If your parents are rich enough, you don't have to work for a living. You know, you get $11 million, zoom, just like that if your parents croak. And what'd you do to earn that? Oh, nothing? Oh, no problem. As long as you make contributions to the Republican Party, they're going to take care of you. So young people who have multimillionaire elders or parents, young people, you know, maybe what, 1,000 people a year? Maybe, more likely a few hundred a year, who will inherit large estates worth more than $11 million. Not because they worked. Keep in mind, if these young members of wealthy families had actually worked, they could get rich themselves by being paid well. I mean, even if you know, Chauncey only shows up one day a week at his mother or father's fancy schmancy real estate development office, billionaire or whatever it may be. Just show up one day a week. We can still cut you a paycheck of $1 million a week. You can make your money the old-fashioned way and pay the old-fashioned taxes on it. But if instead you're just going to spend your days sitting by the pool, you know, having the pool attendant peel your grapes for you as you're waiting for the dividend check to arrive in the mail, if that's what you're going to do, and you're waiting for, you know, dad, mom, grandpa, grandma to kick off, hey, we've got a surprise for you. We've got a big benefit for you. Your taxes are going to go down. They're going to go down to zero eventually when you become rich. Isn't that sweet? And you didn't do anything to deserve it. But working people, your taxes are going to go up.